Be able to sit down with him and help him understand how much money was actually bleeding out from his retirement and being able to put him in a solution that worked better for him and gave them more coverage was really kind
The
of cool.
freedom of this job. It was surprising. I've never had a job like this before where, I mean, really, my time is my time, and how I choose to use that.
Many people not associated with legacy that like to talk about, oh, it takes about 5 years to get on your feet. It's rice and beans until then, and it shouldn't be that way. All right, I'm here with Dave Jex and Soren Jensen. I'm Larry Gray. Welcome to Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. We're going to have a talk about their experience helping Medicare beneficiaries over the last year, retirees, and welcome, gents. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Off to a good day.
Yeah. So I know it's a busy day. I'm glad I was able to grab you guys and have this little discussion for a bit. And I'd like you to share why choose a profession, because both of you started about a year ago and started getting all your training, the testing, the certifications, and you've both had the ability to spend the last year visiting with people who are about to retire or in retirement week after week. And what got you there? Why did you choose a profession where you're helping people in retirement with their insurance and solidifying all their retirement concerns?
It's a good question. I would say it kind of happened on accident, but to start off with, I always have found a lot of joy and a lot of fulfillment in helping people and get to understand their situations and being able to apply my traits and my skill to be able to help them.
So Soren, you were on an LDS mission, okay, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ down in correct me, Houston,
Texas, Austin, Texas.
Austin,
Yeah.
Texas, for a couple of years. So you got that under your belt. And I know you and your wife, both of you guys enjoyed that experience. And I'll say, I think when I first met you guys, you definitely had that twinkle in your eye. Newlyweds, come from a mission, everything. And I don't know if that service had anything to do with the transition into this, but it spoke to me when
Absolutely.
I thought this would be a good career for you.
Yeah, so when I was in Texas, that essentially every single day, that's our main goal is to serve people, help people, and each missionary on the mission, they have unique characteristics that really helps fulfill that. And I'd never felt that type of fulfillment until I decided to serve people and really work hard at it too. And so when I came back from that, I missed it. I missed that feeling and that satisfaction that comes from when you've genuinely been able to help someone. And we're in a great situation here to really be able to do a lot of work to learn on our end and teach people and help people understand what's going on with their insurance. And
Yeah.
it's been fantastic.
What about you, Dave?
So I started, it's probably been 22 years ago. I had an opportunity to go into pain management to help people. Now, I didn't have a degree in medicine, but I had an opportunity to work with physical therapists and doctors, family doctors, on helping people deal with pain. And we had some what would be called durable medical equipment, TENS units and interferential devices and traction devices that I would have an opportunity to see people in pain and then allow them an option or a solution to be able to see if we could better things. And for 22 years, I've been able to find devices that have been able to help people. And I deal with all spectrums, nerve pain, back pain, or stuff that's happened with construction. And as I've worked with them, I found a real joy in seeing people's outcomes become better from when I first met them. And even when I first met you, Larry, I have a medical device that helps people post surgery, helps with pain, helps with swelling of some type of an orthopedic surgery, knee, shoulder, hip, and seeing people get ready to go into something difficult and have a device that helps them come out of things a little bit better has been really rewarding. Insurance doesn't play with the products that I have. And so the future doesn't look great in being able to provide for my family. And so I had an opportunity to be able to look into this through, I have an uncle that sells insurance, and I had a chance to interview him over a couple of months.
Yeah, we know Keith. Keith's incredible.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's in South Africa.
South Africa,
right
Durban, South Africa.
Yeah.
Anyway, in talking with him and seeing his story, it just made sense in that I could fulfill things that were important to me in being able to help people. At the same time, I could get some financial stability as I look forward to my retirement days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks. So in the last year, what are some of the more interesting things that have happened with you guys and clients? Anything spicy, surprising, interesting, funny?
So I've had opportunities to do some workshops and inviting people to a library and kind of discussing the whole Medicare opportunities. And again, I see people coming in, and the reason why they're coming is because they're frustrated, they're confused, and they want to make the right decision. And being able to educate them and work with them to be able to see the solutions. And one particular one, they're like, "This is just more than we can handle." And I go, "It's actually going to be. I'm right here with you. We can walk through the process." And over a couple of meetings, we've got them making the decisions that they want, and they feel comfortable with the things that we've got.
Cool. Yeah, you were involved in those seminars.
Yeah,
helping out with those.
We call those workshops.
Workshops. All right. What about you, Soren?
I think for me, it happens so often where I get into a home and I've walked them through what Medicare is, and not just one side of Medicare, but the whole picture. And they asked me, where was I 10 years ago? And I was 11. So a little tough to have helped them out. And I wish I could have, because the new information that they gain from what we teach them, it's a real game changer. And it oftentimes puts people in a way better position. And I've just seen the gratitude from people we meet with. And that's really cool, getting to help people in that sense. But outside of just like the normal everyday ones, I've been able to create really good relationships with my clients, and I get them calling me on weekends and whatnot. And they ask about my life. They ask about how I'm doing, because we've genuinely been able to create a good friendship. And that's really special to me.
Well, I've seen some of the reviews on Google. They like to write you in by name on our Google reviews. So you must be doing something right. So any particular scenario you think person was in a bad spot and you helped them with, whether it's Medicare or their retirement planning, that you can remember over the last year?
One of my first ones was a couple that he worked as a postal carrier, and he got some bad advice when he retired, where someone came in and convinced him to get so he was double covered with Medicare insurance and was paying over $400 a month in coverage of stuff that he didn't really need. And to be able to sit down with him and help him understand how much money was actually bleeding out from his retirement, and being able to put him in a solution that worked better for him and gave them more coverage, was really kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Some folks do end up somehow just being overcovered. They're just throwing money away out the door, right? And talk about bad advice for retirement. Sometimes it's just no advice. Talking to so many people who approached their HR or hoped that as they retired from their company, they would get some kind of assistance on, well, what to do. Because this stuff's more complicated than it should be. It shouldn't take an entire profession just to know how Medicare works or Social Security works, or how to use your 401k properly and all this other stuff to understand what an RMD is in the government taxation and requirement on it. That stuff shouldn't be made so complicated, but it is. And you think that's what your human resources is partly there for in retirement, but rather all the legal stuff, they're all tied up in knots. They can't tell you all sorts of things, right? And then sometimes if they have a financial professional to refer you to, their hands are tied. They're very limited on sometimes their experience and what they really can do for and with you. And so you can come out of those things either a little narrow in what you think you've been told, or just plain worse off, more confused. So good thing your client had you there. Why you came here from a business perspective, okay? Why legacy, right? You'd heard about insurance. How did you find legacy in the first place? Soren, how did you find legacy?
So at the time, I'd recently gotten back from my mission, and I had gotten a job working retail. And actually, it's during one of my lunch breaks, I started just going on Indeed. I was just scrolling through, applying to jobs that looked interesting and looked like they might meet what I was trying to accomplish. And after many, many days of doing that, I stumbled upon Legacy, and they were the first ones to get, or they were one of the first ones to get back quickly to me on and send an interview. And I was actually able to come in, I think the day of or the next day, to get an interview. But what I liked about when I talked with you the first time, you went through how it, well, at least what I collected from it is you kind of help us become entrepreneurs, and you help us learn how to make a business, how to create a business from the ground up. And that's something I've always been interested in becoming an entrepreneur. And I saw this as a great opportunity to, one, hit my income goals, be in control of that completely, but then also learn how to create a business from the ground up and how to run it, but also not taking on 100% of the risk, because I'm still learning so much every single day. And if I were to have just jumped into creating my own business without having great mentors and examples and leaders, that might have not gone how I wanted it to. But because I've had great mentorship, I've had great leadership, it's been a great structure to learn entrepreneurship and to start a business from the ground up.
Yeah. Dave, you said you found us through your uncle.
I did.
Right. I think I remember you telling me something about what maybe you said to him. You want to do it better. You want to do what he did. What did he do in that you're going to do better?
So we're in very similar circumstances when he began and when I began. He was working for another company and found Legacy and decided to do both businesses at the same time. And he talked about the struggles of starting up the business, but at the same time, Nicety had some of that income coming in from the other company. And in 7 years, he has become one of the top agents in the country, with I believe 600 or 700 clients that he gets to work with. And he was telling me about the success rate, but also the lean times of starting this business out. And I'm in the same situation where it's time for me to move to a different situation in order to be able to retire, in order to be able to take care of my family and my wife and the things that we want to do. And so I was talking with him. How did you do this? How long did it take? Where do we go? And what's the residual income? What's the income like to be able to make things happen? And he goes, in 7 years, I've been able to pay off all my debts, and I have a retirement in front of me, and I'm going to take a year off, and I'm going to go to South Africa and spend time with my wife and spread the good word of God for a year. And I'm like, you can do that? And he goes, yeah. And I says, okay. So I says, I'm interested in learning more about it. Next day, I get a call from Legacy saying, hey, let's come in and talk. And in a meeting with you, Larry, I said, I want to be able to be Keith version number 2. I just don't want to take 7 years to get it done. So let's get going. And we're on our way.
That's awesome, man. I think you're on your way. Tough first year offloading, running 2 businesses at the same time for almost a year. Yeah, I don't see that often. In fact, I don't allow it very often. We are not a place for part-time. We're not part-time. But every once in a while, there is a particular talent um, and we can see the path, and you are certainly that. And you've done magnificently at it. In fact, you've produced at a rate that a lot of people produce in their first year doing it full time. Okay, surprisingly, amazingly, and that wasn't without a lot of work on your part. You're a good manager of your time, an unusually good one. So, Soren, I'll switch back to you. Why legacy? There are lots of different options. There's other FMOs, IMOs, agencies out there. Sometimes they got better stuff. They do something better, right? Everyone's got something. Why legacy?
After getting to know you more, and after getting to know some of the people around the office and asking them questions, asking them what their experience has been like, it really seems to me that if I do everything that I can do, and if I work as hard as I can, if I'm doing the things I need to do, that there's nothing standing in my way for success. And I saw this as, it's an incredible opportunity. There's so many incentives, like, being vested for life with the residual income. There's no cap on how much I can make each year too. And to me, I saw that as well. I'm capable of working pretty hard, and I felt like it would be a place where I would get paid for how much I put in. At my previous job, it always seemed like I was the only one taking the extra shifts. I was the only one oftentimes, helping people and really trying to work hard. But there were still people getting paid for doing way less than me. And that just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And so to have an outlet to be compensated for exactly how much work you put in, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's what attracted me. Honestly, you knew probably 10 times more than I did when you pulled the trigger on this. I'd gotten a letter. As you guys know, I was deployed at the time. I got a letter from my dad who had heard I was going to get out of the Army and become a high school teacher. I want to teach high school economics. I love teaching. And I developed an interest in finance at the time. And so he got wind of that and said, well, here's what I do for a living. Because honestly, I had no idea. I just knew I wanted to be G.I. Joe. So I was there, got the t-shirt, and I wouldn't take that away for anything, that experience. But it was time to move on to my next love, right? And all I really took away from the letter he wrote was that I would be in charge of my destiny, right? So you said you'd be in charge of your income. What you put in is what you get out. Now there's risk. What if what you put in sucks? Right? So I've learned to deeply respect that part of entrepreneurship, because not everybody works out, and not everybody has the skill or the talent, and not everybody has the time management skills, okay, or the work ethic. So that says a lot about you too, because you guys do, and you're making it work. But I learned to really respect that over time. But it worked. Is you put in a lot of work and you get an outsized result. If you put in a little work, you'll get even less back. If you put in average work, then you'll get less than average. If you put in more than average, you get way more than average return. It is this interesting curve in the entrepreneurial world. It's awesome to see you guys living that over the last year, having experienced that, and to be just tackling each of your goals one after another, setting new goals and readjusting. And so now I've learned this. I want to capture this, right?
I find it as a team. I have a mentor, I have a trainer, and I have a group that's trying to accomplish the same goals that I'm trying to accomplish. and we've been able to collaborate and do things together. Some things not so great, but other things we've learned from, and we've been able to become really good at finding ways to reach people to be able to help them with any solution space that they need. And so that's been nice. It's been Soren and I started the same day, and it's been nice to be able to collaborate with him as well, as he learns and I learn, and we can share experiences and actually give ourselves hope as we go forward. So in that sense, it's been great. The staff have been so patient with me and in the things that I'm trying to accomplish and what I call mistakes, but they don't call them that. And they've just been able to work with me and get things done. So in that sense, it's been fantastic.
Cool.
I'd say there's a lot of talent around here, and I'm grateful to be surrounded by so many people who've been doing this for a long time, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. And especially with the leadership, it seems like even though I'm a relatively new agent, and I might not have a lot to say, the leadership always takes their time to hear me out and see how I'm doing. You guys are running around like madmen. You guys are super busy, but it's cool that you guys are willing to take the time out of your busy schedules to sit down with us and come back to a brand new agent's level and walk us through the most simple things, even though it seems a little complicated for us at the time.
When we do bring in the right people, especially young people, it adds energy to everybody else. Okay, so the old vets, right, who spend half their time on the golf course or taking, especially this summer, everyone's taking such long vacations, marriages and everything else going on, and they can afford to, and it's great. But they enjoy coming back to work and seeing people who are hungry. It makes them just appreciate it. They enjoy it. They enjoy it themselves, and they've told me so. So they enjoy their lifestyle, but they also enjoy seeing other people who are hungry and want to learn, and they actually enjoy imparting their experience and knowledge. Some of the people here who are mentors enjoy the teaching for its own sake. I do. Okay, if you were to say what's one thing that surprised you since you've been here over the last year, what surprised you?
It's the freedom of this job.
Mm-hmm.
It was surprising. I've never had a job like this before, where, I mean, really, my time is my time, and how I choose to use that. And it's really cool because I'm not confined to an office all day long. I'm out knocking doors. I'm calling on the phone. I can do that from home. I can do that from the office. I'm in appointments in the office. I'm in appointments at people's homes. That was shocking to me because I didn't expect it to be so free with. I didn't expect to have so much freedom in my own time. I've enjoyed it.
Awesome. You've done well with it.
I'd say the past couple of careers that I've had, 22 years in taking care of people with pain management devices, I was limited in the products that I could offer, trying to find products that insurance would cover, and not being able to fulfill all the needs because my toolbox wasn't completely full. Before that, I sold transportation, and again, limited on the services when I would go and meet with someone and they had a need and I didn't have that in my toolbox. What surprised me is really from brand new, entering this world to the nearly dead, there is a solution, and Legacy through Integrity and American Senior Benefits has the ability to be able to provide solution for just about every circumstance that I've encountered so far.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
It's audacious too, isn't it? So probably it's an upside, but it's one of the bigger things to tackle is the master brokerage side.
Yes.
Sounds awesome, and it is awesome, but it increases the learning curve, doesn't it?
It has, but we're headed in one direction. But once you meet with someone and they go, "Hey, can you help out with someone else?" and it's a completely different view, concept, goals that they're trying to accomplish, the fact that we have the tools to be able to do that it's really been the first job I've had that I have all the tools. I have to learn about them all,
Yeah.
but I have all the tools.
Or, phone a friend.
Exactly.
Right? Whether it's the agency or call the ASB back office, right? They got experts who they're W-2 employees that spend all day, their entire career is just on a really sharp focus on something, right? Awesome. Okay, let's close with this. What's one of the toughest parts of the last year? What's one of the hardest parts of this new career been for you this last year?
Okay, so for the past 22 years, I had to develop a series of clientele. Now, most of my customers were one and done, but I had some customers that had surgery. It seemed like every 6 months. And there's some people I've helped with 13 and 15 different surgeries. And referral basis, people were calling me. I wasn't having to go and find as many myself. Mm-hmm. Starting this new career and trying to establish myself, the amount of work that has to go in to be able to find has been the challenge. I hear from the older agents that they don't have to go find as much because people are finding them. I look forward to that day, but right now I got to put in the work.
A lot
to
of them just live on referrals.
Yeah,
that's it now. So looking forward to that day. That's right. So right now it's kind of an all of the above approach for a while, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. How about you, Soren?
Yeah, very similar. I'd say the prospecting aspect of it. And within that, it's keeping the momentum going, because I've noticed if you get down to no momentum, if you go on a vacation, if you take a day off, it oftentimes is harder to start back up. I think that's one thing you have to be prepared for if you're looking at getting into this. Is it's not easy to spend 3 or 4 hours on the phone calling to people who probably actually reached out to you in the first place, and just getting no's, or maybe not even reaching people, but still being able to, put a smile on your face, and then just still working really hard and doing more and just going that extra rep. And it's been awesome though, because it's taught a lot. It's taught me a lot about myself and how rewarding it is when you make that last phone call or you knock on that last person's house.
Successful attorneys, successful doctors, CEOs and operators, and people we associate with long work hours that work their butt off year after year after year. It's just the way they live. It's their lifestyle, and they make a lot of money at it. We call them successful. We should take some vacation time. Plan around it. It's tough coming off of that. But when we're on for the first 2 years, you kind of work like those people. You have a lot of extra hours. But you don't do that for the next 10 years. It's not a way of life. It's a way of starting your business. And in our career field, I've heard way too many people not associated with legacy that like to talk about, it takes about 5 years to get on your feet. It's rice and beans until then. And it shouldn't be that way. It doesn't take that long to get on your feet. And you guys are figuring that out yourselves. I appreciate you guys being here. Letting me grab you and say, hey, you. And maybe we put this up on the internet so people see you. And maybe we'll have you again.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you.